Good morning children, myself Reena, faculty in science. Today we are dealing with the third chapter of 6th standard, that is about flowers, and our chapter name is Flower to Flower. All of you have studied the parts of a plant. The different parts of a plant are root, stem, leaves and flowers. Now here we are going to study in detail about flower. What is the main function of flower? Flowers are the reproductive organ of a plant. Is that only the function of a flower? No. It is also the source of food for all living organisms, and also they are rich source of nectar. You know what is nectar? Nectar means honey. All of you have seen many flowers. Flowers are of different variety, different colors, different size, different shape. But all the flowers are having same basic parts. Today, in this session, we are dealing with the parts of a flower. So, we can go into detail the different parts of a flower. See, this is a flower and we can study the parts of a flower with this flower, and you know this is a hibiscus flower or shoe flower. Just look at the parts of a flower. Now, first part, it is pedicel. Which is pedicel here? You can see a long part here. This part will be attaching the flower to the stem of the plant, and this is called pedicel. So what is pedicel? Pedicel is the part which attaches the flower to the stem. And is there any other function for pedicel? No, the flower, you can say flower is born on a stalk called pedicel. So flower is born on the stalk called pedicel, and it is the part that connects the flower with the plant. We have studied pedicel. Now you can see a swollen end at the top of the pedicel. This swollen end is called thalamus. What is the function of thalamus? What is the function? See, it holds, or we can say, what is the function of thalamus? It bears all the four whorls of a flower. Thalamus bears all the four whorls of a flower. Then next part is a cup-shaped portion. I'll show you. This is a cup-shaped portion. It is green in color, and this cup-shaped portion is called calyx. Calyx. What is the function of calyx? What is the function of calyx? See, calyx protects the flower when it is in the bud stage. When the flowers are in the bud stage, this calyx is protecting the flower. Now you can see some leaf-like structures here on the calyx. See, these are some leaf-like structures. These leaf-like structures are called sepals. So the calyx and sepal together consist the first whorl of the flower. Calyx will be protecting the flower in the bud stage, and see the leaf-like structures seen on the calyx is called sepal. Usually sepals are green in color. Now the next part is the most attractive part of the flower. This part is called corolla. Next part is corolla. Each segment of this corolla is called petal. See, each segment of this flower is called petal. Now you can see petals are very bright in color. What gives brightness to this petal? It is due to the presence of certain pigments such as xanthophyll, anthocyanin, etc. See, all the petals are usually bright in color. This bright color as well as sweet smell, nectar, all these attract the insects for pollination. What is pollination? You have studied pollination in lower class, that is in 5th standard. What is pollination? Pollination means transferring pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. We will be studying in this session itself later. So petals are the segments present in corolla, and petals are bright in color due to the presence of pigments such as xanthophyll, anthocyanin, etc. Now see, I am removing all the petals. Now what you can see? You can see what? Another part, that is it is the male reproductive organ of the flower. It is called androecium, which is the male reproductive part of the flower. You can see an yellow colored thing, and this yellow colored thing is attached to a stalk. This stalk is called filament. Filament is one of the male reproductive part, and this stalk is called filament. And you can see two lobed heads attached to the filament. This two lobed heads is called anther. And on the anther we can see pollen grains. This pollen grains, see, you can see yellow powder, this is pollen grain. Now androecium, another name stamen. This is the male reproductive part consisting of filament and anther. And anther is filled with pollen grains. Now see, I am removing all this androecium now. I am removing all the androecium in order to study the other part of flower. See, just I removed all the androecium, that is the male reproductive part. Now you can see here at the tip you can see another part. This is the female reproductive part called gynoecium or pistil. See, gynoecium or pistil, it consists of, see this part, this is called stigma. Stigma, see, this is very sticky, hairy as well as rough. As well as you can see a thread here. Inside, that is stigma will be continuing with a thread. That thread is called style. See, if I am removing the outer part, you can see a thread-like structure. This thread-like structure is called style. Then style will be reaching inside the ovary. You can see a swollen end here. This swollen end is called ovary. Swollen end is called ovary. Inside the ovary there will be ovule, and inside the ovule there is the female germ cell called egg. Female germ cell called egg. So we can look, see, this is gynoecium or pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower consisting of stigma, style and ovary. And inside the ovary what is the ovule, and inside the ovule what is the egg. These are the main parts of a flower. So the four whorls of a flower are, we can say, the first whorl is calyx. Calyx and sepal together is the first whorl. Then second one is corolla, which is the most attractive part of a flower. Then the third one is androecium, and fourth one is gynoecium. So we have studied the different parts of a flower. Now we can just go through the different parts of a flower what we have studied. See, structure of a flower, parts of a flower. The part that is attaching to the stem is pedicel. Then cup-shaped portion, this is called calyx. Then you can see some leaf-like structures here, it is called sepal. Then the most attractive part that is red in color, it is corolla. Corolla consists of different segments called petal. Now another important part, that is the female and the male reproductive part. See here, this is which one? This yellow colored one, stalk as well as two lobed heads you can see. This is the male reproductive part, stamen. Stamen consists of anther and filament. Then another one is the female reproductive part, gynoecium or pistil. Here you can see a green colored thing, stigma. Then stigma in continuing with what? Style, and it reaches ovary. Inside the ovary there is ovule, and inside the ovule there is what? Female gamete called egg. These are the female reproductive part called gynoecium. Now, according to the presence of male gamete and female gamete, we can classify the flowers into two. Some flowers will contain only male gamete or male reproductive part. Such flowers are called male flowers. And some flowers will contain only female reproductive organ. Such flowers are called female flowers. So, according to the presence of female and male reproductive organ, we can classify the flowers into two, that is unisexual flowers and bisexual flowers. So, what are unisexual flowers? Unisexual flowers are the flowers having either androecium or gynoecium. Androecium means male reproductive part. Gynoecium means female reproductive part. If a plant is having lot of flowers, some flowers may be male flower and some flowers may be female flower. Such plant itself is called unisexual plant and the flowers are called unisexual flowers. So, examples for unisexual flowers are coconut, ash god, pumpkin, bitter god, snake god, etc. So, whenever you are seeing a flower, whenever you are getting a flower, you must observe the flower and find out whether it is unisexual or not. That is, you just check what? You have to check whether there is stamen there. That means whether there is filament and anther in that flower. Then, in some flowers, both androecium and gynoecium will be there. Such flowers are called bisexual flower. For example, we have seen one flower today itself, that is shoe flower or hibiscus. That shoe flower contains, I have shown you, both male as well as female. Filament and anther is there in that hibiscus, as well as what else is the stigma, style, ovary, ovule, all these things are there in that flower. That is, in a single flower, if both male and female reproductive parts are there, such flowers are called bisexual flowers. And example for bisexual flowers are rose, ixora, hibiscus, lady's finger, etc. So, now you can classify a flower into bisexual flowers and unisexual flowers. If you are getting any flower, you can find out whether it is a unisexual flower or bisexual flower. Now see, have you thought how seeds are formed in a flower? How seeds are formed in a flower? See, this what is happening to the flowers? Flowers, we have studied that flowers are changing into fruits. How this is happening? Due to fertilization. So, what is fertilization? Any idea about fertilization? What is fertilization? Fertilization means what you know? It is the process of fusion of male gamete and female gamete to form a zygote. The process of fusion means what? Combining of male gamete and female gamete to form a zygote is called fertilization. Now we can check how fertilization is taking place. Just look at this figure. This is the female reproductive part of a flower. Female reproductive part, you know, it is stigma. This is stigma. Then style is the, then what? Ovary. The swollen end is ovary, and inside this there is what? Ovule. Now certain pollinators. Who are pollinators or pollinating agents? Who carries pollen grains? Who is transferring pollen grains from one flower to another flower? We can say they are birds, animals, insects, wind. All these things are pollinators. So insects when they are sitting on some flowers to suck honey, some of the pollen grains may be sticking to their legs or to their body parts. Then they will be coming and sitting on another flower. Then what happens, you know, some of the pollen grains may be falling on the stigma. When pollen grains falls on the stigma, what happens? A pollen tube is developing. You can see a tube. So, we have studied already pollen grains contains what? Male germ cell, isn't it? Or male gamete. So, this male gamete will be, you can see the male germ cell or male gamete will be traveling through this pollen tube. You can see it is traveling through this pollen tube and reaches here. And what happens when it reaches here? Inside this, what is the female germ cell called egg. So fusion will be taking place between the male gamete and female gamete, and as a result a zygote is formed, or we can say as a result seed is produced. So after fertilization, what happens, you know, our ovule, this ovule changes into seed and ovary changes into fruit. So just think about a flower, the flower that first I have shown you. That flower, what happens to that flower after fertilization? After fertilization, all the petals in that flower will be falling off, as well as stigma, style, everything will fall off, filament and everything will fall off. Only see what happens to the ovary, no? Ovary will develop into a fruit and ovule will changes into a seed. Then you can see sepals as well as calyx and all. What happens? Pedicel. This pedicel will be holding the fruit, and you can see sepal and all will be there on the fruit. So is it clear about fertilization? All of you have enjoyed the class, no? Now we can meet in another session with another topic. Thank you.